Special Weather News Atlantic and United States Overview. Good day, dear viewers. We are very glad to have you back with us for today's special weather forecast. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the peak of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. And just as meteorologists have warned for weeks, the atmosphere is evolving with remarkable speed, intensity, and complexity. Today's bulletin will provide you with the most comprehensive overview of what is happening across the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean Sea, and on U.S. soil. This is going to be a long and detailed report because the amount of information is enormous, from Hurricane Gabrielle to two new tropical waves with the potential to become named storms. From complicated changes in global forecast models to the risks of severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, and hail across the United States in the coming days. Every segment carries critical information directly tied to the safety of tens of millions of people. Hurricane Gabrielle, a major oceanic powerhouse. At this moment, Hurricane Gabrielle remains a powerful system over the Atlantic. Winds are sustained near 225 kilometers per hour, about 140 miles per hour, which makes this a Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson scale. The storm center is moving northeastward, away from Bermuda, though it passed only a few hundred kilometers from the islands last night. As a result, Bermuda experienced strong wind gusts and long periods of heavy rainfall. But fortunately, no catastrophic impacts. Infrastructure remains intact, with only minor interruptions at the airport and seaports. For now, Gabrielle is classified as a so-called fish storm, meaning its main circulation is over open water, not directly striking highly populated landmasses in North America. Still, Gabrielle's journey isn't over. Medium-range models suggest it may track toward the Azores and eventually influence Western Europe with rain and wind in about a week. So while the US can breathe a sigh of relief, European nations will need to monitor Gabrielle carefully. Two new tropical waves, rising concerns. Gabrielle is not the only story on the map. What has captured the meteorological community's full attention over the past 48 hours is the appearance of two new tropical waves moving into the warm Atlantic basin. Both waves exhibit well-organized convective structures, towering cloud tops, cold dense cloud shields, and vigorous thunderstorms. The National Hurricane Center, NHC, has officially highlighted both systems. Wave 1. Located near the Leeward Islands and parts of the Lesser Antilles, already spreading widespread rain and storms. It currently carries about a 50% chance of development into a tropical depression or storm within the next 7 days. Because of its close proximity to populated islands, this system is an immediate concern. Wave 2, the greater threat. Positioned farther east, it is moving slower, over warmer waters with light shear and abundant mid-level moisture. NHC estimates its development chance as high as 80%. Should it strengthen, it would likely be named Humberto. The conditions surrounding this wave, warm sea surface temperatures, ample moisture, and modest wind shear, are considered ideal for tropical cyclone formation. Satellite imagery reveals bright red, orange, and even white cloud tops, evidence of intense convection reaching high into the atmosphere. For Wave 1, impacts are already being felt: localized flooding, gusty winds, and heavy rain across several Caribbean islands. For Wave 2, though still offshore, the potential is significantly larger. Model guidance, diverging scenarios. Now, let's dig into model projections. ECMWF, European model, suggests Wave 1 could track near the U.S. East Coast, bringing heavy rain and strong winds to the Carolinas and Virginia later this month. Meanwhile, Wave 2 may track closer to Bermuda before recurving into the open Atlantic. However, much depends on the positioning of the subtropical high. A westward expanding ridge could steer storms closer to the U.S. coast. GFS, American model, offers an unusual solution where the two waves might merge, combining energy into a single larger storm near Bermuda before weakening. Though rare, such a merger is not impossible. European AI model paints a more extreme outcome, showing Wave 2 intensifying into a strong hurricane potentially approaching North Carolina around September 30th to October 1st. While alarming, Forecasters stress that long-range projections, 7 to 10 days out, carry high uncertainty. Ensembles provide a probability spread. They indicate Wave 1 is more likely to approach U.S. land, while Wave 2 is more likely to remain offshore. This aligns with current field observations and serves as an important basis for official forecasts. Key to these outcomes are the steering currents, the mid and upper level winds guiding storm tracks. A tug-of-war between a subtropical ridge and a mid-Atlantic trough will decide whether these storms recurve out to sea or press closer to the U.S. East Coast. U.S. mainland weather, multiple hazards. While the Atlantic churns, the U.S. mainland is also facing its own set of weather threats. Central U.S. storm system, a strong low pressure is intensifying, driving severe thunderstorms today across Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. Hazards include large hail up to 2 inches, damaging winds, and tornadoes, rated at an enhanced risk, 2/5, by the Storm Prediction Center. Fayetteville, Fort Smith, and surrounding communities must remain vigilant. Northeast Corridor, from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia and Baltimore. A fast-moving squall line is expected by late afternoon, with damaging wind gusts threatening major metropolitan areas during rush hour. Rockies. In higher elevations of Colorado and Wyoming, early season snow has begun to fall above 2.500 meters, reminding us that autumn and winter are fast approaching. Mountain passes may see slippery conditions. Florida, particularly South Florida from Miami to the Keys, faces torrential tropical downpours, with some locations receiving up to 100 millimeters of rainfall in 24 hours. Flood risk is moderate, 15%, especially in low-lying urban areas. Pacific Northwest, conditions remain hot and dry, raising wildfire risk across Oregon, Washington, and Northern California. Low humidity and gusty winds are combining to create dangerous fire weather. Altogether, Americans are simultaneously confronting threats both offshore and inland, tropical cyclones in the Atlantic and severe storms, tornadoes, hail, floods, and wildfires at home. Broader reflection. Looking at the bigger picture, Hurricane Gabrielle demonstrates the raw power of nature even when it does not strike land directly. The 2 tropical waves remind us that additional threats are brewing, with uncertain paths, and on land. Widespread severe weather is not just a forecast, it is already happening. This is why bulletins like today's are so vital. They don't just inform. They help people prepare mentally, practically, and spiritually to reduce risks. Closing devotional. Before we conclude, allow me to share a verse for reflection during these stormy days. From 1 John chapter 3 verse 18, Dear children, let us not love with words or speech but with actions and in truth. This reminds us that real love and concern are not shown through words alone, but through genuine action. In times of disaster, this truth carries weight. Every small gesture, sharing a warning, helping a neighbor, offering shelter, can make a difference. Love is not only in prayer but also in reaching out to those in need. Final message. Ladies and gentlemen, today's bulletin has given you a full picture of the Atlantic and U.S. weather situation. We will continue to monitor Gabrielle, the 2 tropical waves, and the severe weather threats on land. Every change in these forecasts can carry life-altering consequences, and we are committed to updating you with timely, clear, and accurate information. If you found this report useful, please consider clicking like and subscribe so you don't miss future updates. And feel free to leave a comment, share your prayer requests or messages you'd like us to join with. Wishing you peace, health, and strength to face every challenge. Until next time, stay safe and may God bless you.